How are you?
I will.
Good.
Yeah.
Good, good. Welcome to Monday Moments. This is Community Children's Center's every couple of weekly sort of chance for myself and Susie Green, our family resource director, to chat with parent experts in our community about varying aspects of parenting. They're fun, they're informal, they're about 20 minutes long, and they're a good time. So please sit back, relax, and join us on Facebook. If you have questions, you can feel free to put them into the comments there at the bottom of the screen here. Also, I will put my email on the comments in case you have questions that you don't feel comfortable necessarily asking in a public forum, or you're watching this after it's already done, which will be broadcast on YouTube after that. So today we are talking about hair. It's a very hairy Monday. We we grow it. Your kid's gonna grow it, and you're gonna eventually have to do something about it. So, yeah. With that, let's introduce it's Kayla. Kayla, hi, welcome.
Hi. Hello.
Thank you for joining us
Thanks
today.
for having
Really
me.
appreciate it. Susie, do you want to kick us off here?
Yeah. Kayla, tell us just a little bit about yourself first. Who are you? What's your parenting and caregiving experience?
So, my name's Kayla Deere, and I live in Lawrence. I've lived here for 23 years now, and I've been a hairstylist for 23 years, not including my year of hair school because I've done hair long enough. I don't count that anymore. So, um, and I work and own Images Salon and Day Spa here in town. I have three kids. My stepdaughter is 14, my son is 12, and my daughter is 5. So that's my experience in caregiving. And then all of their friends.
Yes.
I have my house is always really, really full with kids inside or out. So yes,
Love
I
it.
I tend to parent even strangers.
Yeah.
It might be frowned upon by some, but
Oh, I'm
I
sure
can't
it's
help
welcomed.
it.
It really does take all of us. I'm
I
sure it's
know.
welcomed. Yeah.
So, Kayla, then let's talk about haircutting.
Okay.
When was your first sort of haircutting experience? Like, when did your kiddo first need to have their haircut? And also, if you want to throw it in as a stylist, when was the first time you cut a child's hair? Was that nerve-wracking? I mean, how was it?
So probably the first time I ever cut a kid's hair, not including like maybe secretively my cousins or whoever when I was a kid, was when I was in hair school.
Mm.
Um, and so I definitely had um false confidence, like because I was like, I love this. I've always wanted to be a hairstylist. Like, let's do this. So I wasn't scared or nervous. And I had my instructor telling me like kind of what to do. Um, and it was a boy, and it was clippers. So yeah, I wasn't nervous, but my and then my first time that my son's first haircut, I think he was like probably almost 2, like 1. I don't know. I'm really terrible about like baby books or anything like that. I'm sure there's hair from his haircut that my mom has, but like I wouldn't save it. I'm like, it's not that big of a deal, but I know my mom has a bag of hair from his first haircut. Um, so yeah, but he came into the salon. My mom brought him into the salon and he was super excited. And, I am his mom. So back then he was way better for me than he is now. So in
Things
fact,
change with
fun
me.
fact, um, he now makes me take him to Jay at Downtown Barber to get his fade done because I'm his mom and like clearly don't know how to do anything like that I actually know how to do. This is actually one thing I'm good at. So yeah, but
So
I
he's
pressed
showing his
there and colors.
autonomy and he's pushing back a little bit. And now You
Mhm.
probably instilled that in him that he knows what he wants with his hair. And
He,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, with my like, I guess my like genes run deep in my family because my kids look like me and they act like me. So I just only have myself to thank for that, I guess.
Yeah. Well, so it sounds like his first haircut went fairly well.
Hmm.
I remember my oldest, his first haircut was during his first birthday party. And it was because his hair kept just getting in his eyes. And so my dad took some scissors and just snipped it like straight across. But of course, instead of straight, it was like that a little bit.
Hmm.
There were probably some tears shed. It wasn't like the most nurturing first haircut. And first
Yeah.
haircut can sometimes be really hard for kids. Why do you think that is, that those haircuts
So,
can be hard?
so I think that there's, you know, a lot of different aspects of that. Probably the biggest one is just the unknown for them. Like it's something, it's the first something they're doing. So um they may not understand. And if you call it a haircut, that sounds scary. Like you're gonna cut me, or, you know, this person that I might not probably, you know, I don't know, in a place I don't know, and you're forcing me to sit in this chair and put a cape on me, and it's loud and it's
Mm,
different, and then this person's coming at me with scissors or clippers that are loud. And so we just try to like not say the word cut. Well, I try to
mm,
say the word cut. I say like trim, or, you know, let's do your hair or something like that, just to not make it as scary, you know.
mm,
um but yeah, I think mainly the unknown of it is probably the biggest, uh and maybe, you know, being forced to do it too
sure.
sometimes could be another reason. I'm trying to think of it, or be, you know, just uncomfortable.
Mhm.
You know, it gets itchy sitting still for longer than you would want to. I mean, it's hard for me just to sit and get a haircut. So obviously I'm like Rapunzel over here. My hair is so long.
I always found when I was a kid the thing that I that used to get to me was the was getting squirted in the face with the mist water. Like
Yes.
that was a big like trigger for me. Never did enjoy that, but of course my son was absolutely awesome and he got his first haircut. He was really well behaved. So it's
Yeah.
odd.
I just remember my mom like went to hair school, and her mom had like a beauty shop in her house.
Mm.
Rose's Beauty Shop, and in Atwood, Kansas, like small northwestern Kansas town. And I just remember like getting my haircut and staring at the barbicide, being like, I bet that tastes so good. Never tried it, but, you know, I just can like have that. I remember that, you know, like so weird.
Since you are a stylist and I'm sure you do your share of kids cuts these days, when someone comes into the shop with a kid, or if someone in the crowd here watching is like, I gotta think about this, I gotta do my kiddo's first haircut pretty soon. Any advice or tips for how to help them kind of manage through that first haircut?
Yeah, I would say, you know, they know their kid better
Mm,
than anyone. So they need to make sure they're ready for it. You know, unless it's getting in the way or it's becoming an issue of like detangling or something, there's no time when you have to get a haircut, you know?
mm,
So I would say, you know, that. So like age range, and then just try to, you know, if they know in advance and their own personal hairstylist is going to be the one cutting their kid's hair, then I would say bring them, you know, with
mm,
them to an appointment, or if they have siblings, watch them get their hair cut. Um, because that then they can see it happening and know that like, okay, this is all right, this is what happens, get used to it. Meet the stylist if they don't already know them, so that it's not a stranger. They do have, I mean, YouTube has everything. So I know they've got different videos of like nursery rhyme, haircut type stuff. There's books on it you could read with your kids. There's also, which I don't know that this is the best idea, but like, like plain hairdresser, but I'm like,
Mhm.
like, like kids cut hair and they shouldn't. And so I don't know that like giving them that idea is the best, but to each their own. But yeah, I would say definitely try to just talk to them about it. Like I said, if they know the stylist, it might be easier, or watch them do it. Or if they have, like definitely, if they're going to bring them to the salon, do not do it like right before they need a nap or right before a meal. Like make sure they're fed and well
Mhm.
rested. Because that, anything that would cause them to normally go into a meltdown, it's gonna be like way worse if um they're either of those. And also probably there was something else I was gonna say. Oh, especially for boys, please, if it's their first one and they don't really know and they're like really young, don't bring in like a super dapper, like styled, like fade with whatever. Cause it's like, this is going to be like what I can do, trying not to cut myself or whatever in like a 10-minute period. Cause that's probably all you're going to get. So it's just like, like maybe just like go small at first.
Mhm.
Um, because if they really start freaking out about it, I personally will just say, we probably should stop, because I don't want them in like 10 years talking about me to a therapist, like, at play therapy,
Yeah.
like having their trauma be like forced to get a haircut. So, I don't think that it's something that is detrimental to their well-being. So if they're really having a hard time, I think it's like not the best thing. Um, and sometimes, and I know moms probably aren't gonna like this, but sometimes moms make it worse when they bring them, because you can be the worst for your mom and she's still gonna like love you, And so sometimes it's better to have like a grandparent or your a friend or a nanny or dad or whoever that like just not mom sometimes
Mm.
can be helpful, because they definitely will like it will be worse if they're gonna have a meltdown, and you know that can happen for some people.
Mm.
But if they're into it and they're a little older and, I mean, obviously bring them if you want to, but I'm just saying sometimes that has been different. Like I'm like, have a specific kid I can think of, like he would freak out when his mom would bring him. And then like his nanny started like brought him once, his dad brought him once, and his grandpa brought him once. And I was like, who is this kid that's like, hi,
Mhm.
Kayla, like, super excited to get a haircut? I don't recognize him because he was so upset and crazy when like his mom would bring him. So
Well,
anyway,
that really connects with your first piece of advice, Kayla, and you know your child best,
yeah.
right? And so really thinking about like when is the best time for my child to get their first haircut, that
Mhm.
really is like based on your family's beliefs and value and culture and you knowing who
Yes.
your child is and what would be the best fit for them,
Hmm.
which connects
And
to who's going to take them, what time of day would be best,
right.
where should we go, right?
And
Yeah.
sometimes, um, like I have some friends that like the dad cuts their son's hair or whatever. And it's like, obviously they do a fine job, but once until they get older, sometimes that could be the best option too. I just cut my friend's hair at our daycare. Our kids go to the same daycare. And I'm like, can I just cut his hair over there? I promise we'll take pictures. I promise, just because it was like the best time. And he's he's a little older than one, but we just had him sitting in his little, chair on the table that he eats snacks in. And he was eating snacks and watching, like, I think her name's Miss Rachel I don't know. I
Mhm.
don't really, it's like she was singing and whatever, but he was into it and didn't even like he was fine, you know? So sometimes it's environment too, just depending.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have every kid's favorite, apparently, treat is a blow pop or not a blow pop, a dum dum sucker. It's like I've actually like leveled up and got better candy, and they're like, what is this? Like, where's the dum dum sucker? I was like, my bad. I thought like this awesome candy bar would be cooler, but I guess not.
So let me ask this because I'm like the world's most like anxious parent and socially awkward. It's a really great combination and people love me for it.
Hi, I
Um,
think if you've been watching this, you understand I'm a lot like that too.
so I'd just love to delve into something you kind of touched on a little bit, which is the catastrophe situation, because I feel like we're giving parents a toolbox of what to do it right. But I think there's also a lot to be said for knowing what to do when it goes horribly wrong, right?
Mhm.
So can we kind of talk through just a couple of things in this experience, like where is it better to kind of, and I know it kind of varies on a kid by kid basis, but do you kind of have any general advice about like being real close in proximity to the kid or just kind of letting them be on their own for a little bit and independent when they're going through this process? And the second part is when and if it does look like it's falling apart, you know, they're not responding, they're getting upset or crying
Mhm.
or trying to get up and stuff. What is the best way as a parent and a stylist to kind of make that cooperative decision of maybe we'll just take this into the future, and how can you do that kind of as gracefully as possible?
So I think first haircut, if we're strictly talking first haircut, it needs to be like really minimal change. So if they start freaking out and I'm like, let's wait, it's not like shaved up one side and like,
Yeah.
bye. Like, we'll get
Right.
that next time. So I think like a just a trim or something to like get them used to it. Um, and you know, definitely when they start getting super wiggly, start crying, if there's snot that starts happening, they're really getting upset, real tears. um I can think of one memory of my friends bringing their son in and he was screaming, somebody help me. So I was like, I kind of feel like this is like, yeah, like Jimmy, just take it from here. You cut his hair, you know, like, um, so just those, you know, I think it's as a parent, you're going to know pretty your kids' cues, as to like when they really are losing it.
Mm.
Um, and that, and as a parent, just from my kids, I can tell a lot kind of like just in general when they're starting to get and I'll pull out every bag of tricks I have. Like I'll sing, I'll talk like Bluey, like I'll sing, like I don't care, you know, but like give them a phone, give them, you know, anything just to get through it. But you know, it's like just the first time. So the more they get used to it, uh usually the better it is. And yeah, in my experience, it's typically okay once that, even if the first time is like horribly wrong, uh usually as they age they get, you know, more used to it. And then they just, you know, then they want to pick all their stuff and what they want and
Mhm.
all of that. So, and sometimes, you know, if that's something they could do too, if you haven't got their hair cut until they're 2 or 3, then you could talk to them like, well, what kind of haircut would you like? You know, like bring them into the conversation too. And I would also say, especially for boys, just typically they, you know, get shorter haircuts typically, not all of them. Girls usually, I don't really usually see little girls as soon as I do boys, just because their hair, you know, they're growing their hair typically. If anything, it's like just snipping around the edges and like a rat's nest, you know, but boys, I usually see boys at a younger age for their first cuts, and just bring them like a shirt to change into or something, because it is super itchy. And I'll try, everything I can to like minimize that as I'm doing it, but it's uncomfortable and that can get annoying.
I'm thinking to myself, that's such a good idea. Why did I never think of that when my boys were little getting haircuts, to just bring an extra shirt, right? Instead of having the hair clippings travel with us on an adventure all day.
Yeah.
So that's a great piece of
Yeah.
advice. And the
Yeah.
other thing I heard you say is that as a parent, again, you know your child best, bring out all the bag of tricks, but it's also okay to say, I don't think today's the right day. Thank you so
Mhm.
much for your time. I'm really sorry. I think we should end this haircut. That's okay on both the parent and the stylist side of the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Because as a stylist, especially if they're starting to lose it and
Mhm.
they're getting really like this, and I've had, parents try to like hold them or hold their heads, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, this is so traumatic, even just for me being right here. Like, it's
Mhm.
like, it's not that big of a deal, and it just makes it worse. And so I don't want, the last thing I want is to accidentally nick the kid or cut the,
Sure.
whatever. But I'm like, I also don't want to cut myself. And if they're really having a meltdown, it's just like, it's just not almost safe in a way. That sounds really dramatic, but like, um, it's like it's not worth it.
Yeah. Well, thinking just about parenting in general, Kayla, if you were meeting a new parent for the first time, what's a piece of advice you might give them?
So, like a new parent for the first time. I'm like a really real person. And so I don't know if I'm the best person to give advice to a real first time parent, because I'm always like, oh God, like childbirth is the easiest part. Let me tell you. Wait till your milk comes in. Wait till you don't sleep ever again. Um, so I would say that, like, don't be so too hard on yourself.
Mhm.
Like I said it already before, but your child better than anyone, um, because they're your child. And so whatever it is that you have to do in the moment, it's like, even if it's just, oh my God, tonight, this is how I'm going to do it because I have to get sleep, and,
Mm.
I'm exhausted and they're crying, like, I'm going to just sleep in the chair with them or whatever it is, it's like, it doesn't have to be forever. It can just be in that moment. Like, don't beat yourself up, because it's, like, you have to take care of both of you in order to really take care of them. So, it's really easy to see things, especially now on like social media, and like nobody's posting like the crazy stuff. I mean, like, I've seen you post the crazy stuff. Uh, but
Yeah.
it's like, I don't really have anything else to post if I don't post the crazy stuff. So, um, but it's, like, it's really easy to think that like everyone is doing just perfectly
Mm.
and they don't have all the mess, and that you're just, especially, I have mom guilt. I still get it no matter what. Um, and it's just, it doesn't, it's like, that's just not real life. Real life is messy and loud, and it's like if your baby sleeps 2 nights in a row, do not think you can go out to the replay and stay out late with your friend, because they're going to wake up like and not go to bed that night. You know what I mean? It's like, you never know. So it's just like, be kind to yourself, and whatever works for one family or child. I mean, God, even my own kids, like, I had to do different things with, you
Yeah.
know, the different kids, because they're just different kids. And so um yeah, I would just say, do what you got to do, as long as that baby is still, you know there with you, like, you're doing great.
Love it.
Love it.
And
Love
you
it. Well,
don't
thank you.
need, like, you don't need a lot of the crap. Like, don't buy all the crap, because like most of it you don't need. And I know, like, it's hard not to, and people will tell you you need all this and all that, but it's like, yeah, don't go buy like a year's supply of diapers because your friend said they're great, because like your kid will probably like poop up the back out of every one because it doesn't work for them. It's like just kind of like trial and error on that stuff. But most of it's not necessary.
I love that. I love that. Um, quick question then to kind of summarize things up. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
for meeting with us and talking us through this. This has been
Of
really
course.
helpful. I wish I'd have known this before I got Allie's first haircut, although you did really well on that front. What just we like to end it with a little upswing. So what is your favorite thing about being a parent? What do you like the most about it?
Um, I would say I just really love, um, each of my kids' different personalities. And even though they're very similar in a lot of ways, um, you know, they each stand out in different ways. And I really love watching them grow and experience everything, and just trying to shape them into, you know, best case, best humans I possibly can. Um, and just, I really love that I know, well, I really try really hard to be the adult like I needed when I was their age. Like I have to, that's like my main goal is to like, like really try to put myself in their shoes, so that I don't shut them down just by trying to simply overparent, or I'm like this, like, let me fix it. I don't want you to be upset. I just want, I just love like going through life with them because they're just each so unique and interesting. And, like I never know what I'm going to get with any of them. An email from the school, a call from the school could be really good. It could be really bad. I don't know.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I really do. Really do.
Well,
Awesome.
thank
Thank you so
you
much.
so much, Kayla.
Thank
This
you
has been
guys.
wonderful. We really
Yeah.
appreciate you chatting with us. I learned some things that I can pass on to other families. So
Good.
thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
do you want to give a quick plug for your salon while you're here in case anybody wants to know where to go for their kid's first haircut?
Absolutely. We're at Images Salon. It's on 9th and Louisiana. Um, and you can look us up on Facebook or Instagram, or the internet, or just drive by or call.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much. We're excited this week. We're having our groundbreaking ceremony for our new early childhood community center. So if you're getting this at the time, join us Thursday at 3:30 at 346 Main Street in beautiful Lawrence, Old West Lawrence. Come down and celebrate with us. The governor's going to be there. She's going to give a speech. It's going to be great.
That's
The
awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. Really looking forward to it. And the next one of these is December 11th. So we're taking a little break and coming back on the 11th of December. We're meeting with Monica Greenwood and we're going to be talking about travel again. She took a number of road trips with her daughter, and we're going to talk about those and how she survived them and how possibly you can too.
Ugh,
So good
yeah.
times. So, in the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to email us. I'll put the email link on the YouTube channel. And thanks so much again, Kayla. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It was good to see you guys and chat.
We're going to take it off alive here. Goodbye, everybody. Till next time.
Bye.